I am having a hard time explaining to my staff what is due diligence, in terms of anti-bribery. Can you help me out?
No problem. Let me try and explain. Many have come across this concept, but not all are certain of what needs to be done. Let us have a closer look at this concept. In Malaysia, if the company has committed an offence under Section 17A of the MACC Act, the directors and management are deemed to have committed the same offence. Unless he or she can prove that it was done without consent, without connivance, and he or she exercised due diligence. Understanding this concept would be important because this may form part of your defense in the court of law. You may have heard of the concept of due diligence whenever a company is acquiring or buying another company. In this example, due diligence means to check if the acquisition is safe, acceptable, appropriate and with no hidden risk. In a broad sense, due diligence refers to the reasonable steps or care taken by any person to avoid committing an offence under the law, or to protect themselves, others, and their respective properties from harm. So, how does this relate to anti-bribery matters? You will hear due diligence being mentioned in different aspects. Third-party due diligence, employment due diligence on joint ventures, due diligence on mergers and acquisitions. The due diligence in these areas forms part of your overall anti-bribery and anti-corruption program. We will leave these topics for another day. For this video, let us concentrate on the personal due diligence that is expected to be exercised by each director and management team individually, in response to Section 17A of the MACC Act. Reasonable steps or due care is expected to be taken by the directors and management team to prevent bribery from being committed. The level of due care should correspond with the nature of his or her function in that capacity. Appropriate due care should be exercised with regard to the circumstances. Let's use examples instead of big words to help you understand better. Imagine you are being asked to issue a payment that you suspect could be a bribe. Should you ask more about the payment, or should you blindly issue the payment without asking further? Did you act with reasonable care to prevent the crime, or you felt that the payment had nothing to do with you? In another scenario, your management team is going to jointly bid for a mega project with another company. But you have heard rumors about the other company and am concerned about the bribery risk. As one of the directors, should you inquire more or rely completely on the management to do the necessary? It may not be clear how much due care is considered reasonably enough. But what is clear from the earlier examples, not doing anything is definitely not enough. In conclusion, due diligence is not about ticking a box in a checklist. It covers much more, including abiding by the fiduciary duty defined in law. It is something exercised, every time, everywhere. Leave a comment to share your thoughts, or contact us if you have questions.